All right, it's comeback season. Everybody's making a comeback. Imad Wasim is making a comeback. He's taking back his retirement. Mohammad Amir has now come out and said that he's going to take back his retirement. Who knows who else is coming back? Shoaib Malik, Wasim Akram, Ramiz Raja, Imran Khan. What's going on here? Welcome back to the pod. I'm just here with Haris today. The other two couldn't make it, but we're going to talk about some stuff that's been going on, some news that's been coming out. So, Haris, how are you doing, man?
Pretty good, alhamdulillah, man. Middle of Ramzan. One quick thing you were talking about comebacks. I just feel like I need to make an announcement. I know there've been rumors flying about, but I just want to put on the record and officially announce that I am retiring from international cricket. I'm withdrawing my name from selection. I just feel like with all these comebacks, it just seems right to balance it out. And I know I've had a stellar international career, but I think I just gotta make room for the youngsters.
Yeah, youngsters who are 35 years old. I don't know how old Ahmed is
Mhm.
now, but feels like a 40-year
31.
old because he started so young.
Uh,
But before we get into cricket, I wanted to ask you, what did you eat for iftar today?
If I told you I've been living that bachelor life, so I had a couple of kujur, some water,
I hope something more than
um,
that too.
Manda namaz, and then what did I eat? Oh, I had like a few like samosas. I just pop in the air fryer. It was pretty good, and then off the Taravi and back on the pod.
That's
How about
it.
you?
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I got takeout today. I got shout out to this place
Ooh,
called Cafe Piala, House of Nihari. So they have this tawa chicken, and Ramiz is not here, but I wanted to tell him about that. They have this tawa chicken that they make, which is I think they're trying to create or recreate something that is sold in Lahore, which is like there's a place called Arif Chatkhara in Lahore, and they make like a very famous chicken leg with like a lot of green chilies on top with like light chicken and stuff.
sounds
It
good.
reminded me of that, and it was really good. So shout out to those guys. I haven't been eating out a lot in Ramzan, but today was one of the days. So a good iftar today. Anyway, let's
Nice.
talk about food for too long. Let's start with Imad Wasim. So Imad, we talked about it briefly last episode. What do you make of his return? I think it's pretty much a given that he's going to be selected in the squad now. I
I think
tweeted
so.
out. I was joking about the fact that it would be PCB has a chance to do the funniest thing ever by now not selecting him, which would be
That'd be
hilarious.
hilarious.
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
Dude took back retirement, and we should mention with this that obviously he's not going to be getting a central contract. This is we can look at him as a freelancer almost. He's coming back for this tournament, and he's not gonna be like he's not trying to get a central contract with PCB. So
Mhm.
this is purely for the World Cup, and I think Amir is kind of in the same vein. So yeah, give me your thoughts on Imad first, and then we'll talk about Amir because Amir is another interesting one because
Mhm.
um, that's not as clear as Imad. I think easily finds a place in this team right now, and I don't think Amir does. So yeah, let's do Imad first, and then we'll do Amir after that.
Yeah, no, interesting call. I mean, you can say whatever you want about the drama, about his retirement, unretirement, that sort of thing. But I mean, I haven't really hidden it, but I am an Imad Wasim fan. And I just think purely on a skill basis, he makes our best T2011, taking into account like his power play bowling, his ability to like smack it around, capable of like hitting those clutch innings. I'm not saying he's always be able to do that, but he does have the ice in his veins when he needs to. Um, I think he fits the team well. I know I've been a fan of his. I definitely think he makes, like you said, he makes the New Zealand series. I'm not ready to pencil him in for the World Cup. I mean, if the World Cup was starting tomorrow, I'd put him in. But Pakistan comes first. If he plays these two international series and he flops, and I don't want him on the team. But as it stands right now, he had a fantastic end to the PSL. He's had pretty good numbers in like T20 leagues across the world, especially the CPO, where they're going to play the World Cup. I think um, I think he's earned a spot on the team. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I think I was so for me. I've never really been a huge Imad Wasim fan. I think even when he was kind of at his peak, he was a bit overrated. I felt like under Sarfraz's captaincy, but I his innings against in that eliminator with Heather Ali, I was really impressed. Like you said, ice in his veins. This guy, he handled that pressure really well. of course, that's a league. International pressure, the totally different beast. In the World Cup, that's going to be totally different. But I was impressed with that. That being said, I with things like this, I always look at like where this guy is in his career. Can he handle international cricket right now? How long has it been since he's played international cricket? And I think it's a big gamble if you look at it that way, because and I also and furthermore, I think looking at the future of this team too, and you always should look at the future. I know you always want to win now, but you always should look at the future as well. Um, where this guy is in his career, I'm kind of indifferent with him being on the team right now, to be honest. I can see the case for him being on the team, but I would be totally okay with it if he wasn't and somebody else went in his place. Purely because I think you need to have your younger guys play in pressure situations at some point. You don't want to
Mhm.
wait for them to be like Imad Wasim's age for them to be getting that exposure. So if you have a plan with these younger core of guys, give them those games. You're not, of course, you want to win right now and you want to put your best 11 together. But I think with where he is in his career, the fact that he hasn't played international cricket in a while, I know he's been performing well in leagues. But yeah, like I said, I'd be fine either way. But I can certainly see him making this team, and I think with the way that everything's gone down, he is going to make this squad now, at least to 15,
Mhm.
um, for the New Zealand series or whatever it may be. But we'll see what happens after that. Who knows? He might just bomb that series and be terrible at home,
It's not
and
even a
then it's
question,
kind of
right?
it's kind of it's kind of back to like, okay, well, why do we get this
Mhm.
guy in the first place? So it's all hype right now because he performed well in the last few games, like you said. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Um,
Yeah, I mean, I get what you mean. I mean, obviously, you do want like your younger guys to like get experience in those pressure situations, but at the same time, I think in the World Cup, you pick your best players, your best performing players, in the best form. I do think there's a lot of problem selecting older players. Shoaib Malik's been on the team for so long, but like come World Cup time, you want your best 11. I think Imad Wasim right now is in our best T20 11. I
Yeah,
would have him at like the
yeah,
number 17
and
spot
I
for sure.
think I think
Yeah,
I would
he's
agree with that. Yeah, ultimately, especially in the World Cup, you just want to win. You kind of worry about those things later on. Um, so yeah, I do certainly see the case for that. You want to do Amir now? That's a bit more interesting for me. Uh,
yeah. One quick thing about Imad I want to get your opinion on. World Cup starts tomorrow. Is Imad Wasim in your squad?
yes, yes. Yeah,
I would say so too.
he
I think
has to
so
be.
too. Mm,
It's the kind of thing that and we'll talk about the new selectors with Wahad Riaz later on. But as a selection committee, you have to, like you said, pick your best team, right? If they don't pick him, if the World Cup starts tomorrow and we fail, then all the blame is on the selectors and the management, because people are going to be like, why didn't you pick your best performer in the last in your league competition?
mhm,
So it's kind of a double edged sword. I feel like. So yeah, I think if it starts tomorrow, you have to pick Imad Wasim.
mhm.
Who he's like I said, he may fail because he doesn't have that experience lately of international cricket, but who knows? As of his
We have 90
current form,
20s to figure out.
exactly. Yeah, you're playing
Mhm.
in England in May, and you're playing New Zealand at home. Give him a shot. If he does continues to perform well, particularly in that England series, I would look for him to perform well. If he does, definitely should be in the team for sure. Um,
I agree.
yeah. Mohammad Amir. All right. This is
Cool.
I should preface this conversation by saying a friend of mine reached out to me today and he was like, "What do you think of Amir coming back into the team?" And he was he was saying that he should be in our starting 11 right now, and we kind of started talking about it, and um, I don't understand where this notion. Every World Cup this happens. There's a section of Pakistan fans who want this guy back in the team. I don't get it. To be honest, he like,
Mhm,
and this is why Imad Wasim and Amir. I was kind of joking about this. Imad Wasim came out with the announcement, and then a day later, Amir was like, "Hey, I am also available and taking back my retirement,"
mhm.
and it was like,
Like, I heard you giving out
yeah,
T20 spots.
yeah. I guess I was like, good for you, man. But Imad
Uh,
makes a much stronger case right now because he's an all rounder.
Definitely.
Amir, even if you put aside the fact that this guy is a cancer in the locker room, this guy has been so toxic in the media, since his return, and all that stuff. Even if you put all that aside and you say, okay, we're gonna overlook all that, I just don't think he makes it on talent right now. I don't understand what this notion is about this guy, this obsession with Muhammad Amir in the team. I don't get it. If Shaheen and Naseem are healthy, and I hope they are gonna be, I just don't think you need Amir on this team. You could make a case that Haris Rauf is somebody that comes out for somebody like Amir, but I just, Haris Rauf bowls, first change or and mostly in the death anyways. I don't know that Muhammad Amir is that much better than him to warrant this comeback right now, for that role, because he's not gonna bowl with the new ball, with Naseem and Shaheen. And my buddy did say that maybe you bowl Shaheen and Amir with the new ball. And I was like, that's insanity to me. You have to give the new ball
Mhm.
to Naseem Shah, I think, anyway. But I want to get your take on that. So I'll stop
Yeah.
for now. Give me your take on this.
Mhm. No, I'm also gonna preface this by saying like I'm 1,000%. I don't need to dwell on this, but like I'm 1,000 against match fixers in the team. So just on that, I wouldn't have him on the team alone. But like realistically, if he's in the conversation, I agree with you. I wouldn't have him in our T2011 or even the squad, much less. It would be probably a different conversation had he had like an excellent PSL, but like looking at his numbers, he didn't have like an amazing PSL. It was very average, especially for like his standards.
So sorry, before
His
you go
T20,
on, since you mentioned his stats, I actually, after I talked to my buddy today, I looked up his stats in the PSL because he said he had a good PSL. So I was like, I don't remember him
he
being
did
that
not.
great. Let me take a look at his stats because I don't remember any memorable performances. So I want to take a look, took a look at it. So let's just quickly go
Mhm.
through this and then you can continue your point. Um, Bowling stats in the PSL 2024. Okay, 10 wickets, 8.3 economy, 28.6 average. Those are not great. I don't know if you think
Mhm.
otherwise, but that's average to me.
Right.
With the new ball specifically, 2 wickets in 9 innings. New ball average of 67. And I guess we should maybe take a look at how many overs that includes, but that's not good, with the new ball. Death economy of 9.8, 8 wickets in death overs, zero in the middle overs. Um,
Mhm.
that tells me that this guy is not good enough to be on this team right now. And like I said, looking at role responsibility on this team, I just don't think three of Shaheen, Amir, and Naseem make sense on this team because Imad Wasim's going to bowl, Shadab Khan's going to bowl, uh, Osama Mir, who had a great PSL, should be on this team. And
Mhm.
funny enough, my buddy who sent me his squad, the 15, he didn't have Osama Mir in his squad, and I was like, "You're insane."
He needs to be. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Osama Mir is going to be bowling, Shadab Khan's going to be bowling, Imad Wasim's going to be bowling. That's a lot of bowling, and I don't think you need
Right.
Amir, uh, given all of that. But go on.
The only yeah, like you said, like the only way who would fit into the team is with a new ball bowler. And like I made this joke before. It was like the funniest thing in the world watching Amir play. It's like him with a long run up, big lets out a big grunt, and the speed gun's like 122.
Yeah.
But in his prime, I guess there was that like Amir magic, especially like Champion Server is a big one where he was like potent with the new ball. And like you brought up those like new ball numbers, like this is not there for Muhammad Amir. So I mean, I would. I don't know. I don't think he makes a team, especially like if you think about the power play, break it down: three bowlers, two overs each. Shaheen, Naseem, Imad probably make up that. I don't see Amir making his case. Even though I do think Amir right now is a better bowler than Haris Rauf. Um, I don't think that highly of
I
Haris
may
Rauf.
agree with that, yeah. But
Mhm.
it's just I don't think simply saying that he's better than Harish Rauf is gets him into the team. Like I
It's a
said,
low bar.
yeah, it's a low bar,
Mhm.
and also,
Mhm.
like I said, where he's going to be bowling is important. I don't think he makes it as a new ball bowler over those two right now.
Mhm.
So it's just given all that, I just don't think it makes sense for me. I think this guy's getting overhyped like he always does. I don't understand
Yeah.
the this weird obsession, our fan base has with this guy, like he's gonna be some savior. He's not. Like we just went over his stats. He's an average bowler right now, and
It's like those people who like always insist this team needs Sharjeel Khan. They need Sharjeel Khan. Though I've seen those fans before, and
yeah,
like I get where you're coming from, but no, come on, man. But
yeah,
it's like that case of like nostalgia almost. Like I would take like 2016, 17 Amir on this team, no question. But
yeah,
current Amir, I don't think
sure.
he makes it.
um
Uh-huh.
Yeah, there's like in Pakistan we get like these cults, right, associated with each
Yeah.
with some of the famous players. So there's a Safi
Mhm.
cult, there's a Amir cult, there's a Haris is the president
I'm
of
a
the Safi
proud
cult.
proud. I was just about to say the proud, co-founder, CEO of all the safety call. We don't
uh,
call it a call. We call it, a work group
yeah,
towards a better
there you go,
future.
there you go.
Mhm. Yeah,
You gotta use the right verbiage, right?
exactly.
uh,
One thing that kind of entices me about Mohammad Amir is his fantastic CPL record. 43 wickets at an average of 14 with an economy rate of 6.5. And I know like it's tough for him to like squeeze in that opening slot, but I mean, I don't know. It's one thing to consider. I would at least consider having him in the team, but like, I don't know.
yeah,
As right now,
yeah,
I
and
wouldn't.
CPL
Yeah.
is actually a good league to use, because the World Cup is going to be in West Indies and the USA, right?
Yep.
I don't think any of our, or I think one match we're playing is in West Indies, in the group stage, and the rest of them are all in the US. So if
USA.
we shit the
You.
bed and don't make the knockout stages, probably won't matter. But he could
You
be,
know the
like you're
game.
saying, if he's good in those conditions in the West Indies, he could be useful. But I'm just seeing a lot of overwhelming evidence that he's washed up,
Yeah.
and we need to move on from this guy. How old is Ahmed? We
Mm.
should look into how.
31.
31. So he's actually not that old,
Yeah.
right? Like this guy's been around since he was
Yeah.
17. So it feels like it feels like he might be like 38 by now, but he's only 31.
Mhm.
Um,
And correct me if I'm wrong, but it's always been like whenever we watched Amir in like Pakistan colors, like he would always go down with like a calf injury or he like step out of the game for an over or like he always has some sort of like something keeping him out. He wouldn't like hardly ever finish his overs, which is like,
yeah.
do you even want to deal with that at this point?
Yeah. One other thing I wanted to mention about his new
Mhm.
ball bowling stats. We've been shitting on Shaheen a lot for how bad he's been. His new ball stats are actually better than Amir, so make of that what you will. But we hold Shaheen to a very high standard, and as we should. But
Mhm.
even with everyone saying Amir's been doing better and Shaheen is crap, he's still doing better with the new ball than Amir.
Mhm. I will one quick thing, last thing on Muhammad Amir. I talk about crap about him a lot, but he was responsible for like one of the greatest moments of my life. I was in England watching Pakistan versus New Zealand. Mohammad Amir, the whole crowd chant. This is the best crowd I've ever been a part of. The whole crowd is chanting Amir, Amir, and he bowls Colin Monroe first ball. That's like the most hyped crowd I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, I'm always gonna be like, I get like the whole nostalgia, the whole feeling around Amir. So it's not coming from like a terrible place. So I always appreciate of that for him at least.
Yeah, yeah, you're too emotional. We got we gotta put emotion aside for this World Cup. No, I get what you're saying. I still have
Mhm.
that memory of him taking that wicket of Kohli after he was dropped in that Champions Trophy final etched in my
Amazing.
brain. I remember my brother was here, my niece was sitting with us, and she started crying because of how loud we yelled. Um,
Everyone knows where they were at that moment.
Exactly,
That's the
yeah.
thing.
So I
For those
remember
moments.
that first one getting dropped and she cried because we yelled, and then the next ball we all yelled when he got out. So, those three wickets that he took, Rohit Sharma, Kohli, and Shikhar Dhawan in his first spell, who can forget that, right? But
Mhm.
even some of his old, like when he was just coming onto the scene, that Test match against Australia, which was played in England, where he kind of got his first. I
Mhm.
think he got like 6 wickets or something. Or I could be wrong, but Steve Smith was actually batting at like number 8 in that match
I
because
remember
he was
that.
just
Yeah.
coming on the scene and he bowled him through the gate, and then he took that wicket of Michael Johnson bowled, which was a great delivery too. But
Mhm.
what could have been, right? We always come back to
Could have
what
been.
could have been with this
Thank you for
guy.
your service, but no, thank you.
No, thank you.
That's
Yeah,
where we're at.
we've moved on.
Yeah.
We've got
Uh-huh.
Haris Rauf now.
Yeah. Oh god.
Okay. Anything else you want to mention on these two guys? So let me ask you this: if
Mhm.
Amir is coming in, who's he coming in for? And we're not taking into account Haris Rauf because he's been out lately. Um, who does he come in?
Maybe, I mean, if Haris Rauf was healthy, I would have him in over Haris Rauf. Maybe Mohammad Wasim Jr. He had a pretty like poor PSL. Maybe Naseem Shah. I don't know about probably not Naseem Shah because at least you can bank on its like
Can't
potential.
take out
I
Naseem
don't.
Shah,
I'm not
man. Naseem
right.
Shah
I'm
is the
not
best
fully
bowler on this
convinced.
team, I think, right now.
I'm not fully convinced about Naseem Shah in T20s, but like I get the appeal. I get having him in the team, so I would have him over Muhammad Amir. I would probably be over Haris Rauf or like Muhammad Wasim Jr. What
Yeah,
about
makes
you?
sense. I yeah,
Mhm.
I don't even want to think about that because I don't think he should be in the team. But um,
Yeah.
yeah, even somebody like I think Amir Jamal probably makes a better case for being in the team than Mohammad Amir because he can bat, right? And and I keep coming back to this. If he's not going to be bowling in the new with the new ball, then Amir Jamal can fill that role and bat better
Mhm.
than him. So a lot of people can
Quick,
do.
I wouldn't have Amir Jamal on the team at all, to be
Me
honest.
neither.
He didn't
I
have a
don't
great
think he's been
system. Yeah,
impressive.
absolutely not. No,
Um,
he's fine as a test specialist. I'm okay with
Going
that.
back to when we did that episode after the Australia series, I thought you know, and I actually looked at his stats in T20s after that when PSL was about to start, and this guy's garbage in T20s. He has,
He's awful
it's
with the
like
ball.
I
Yeah,
was like,
I'm
why?
looking at them right now.
Because he played that T20 series in New Zealand and didn't go well, obviously for anybody. But
Mm-mm.
that's the point I was making
He's
at that
garbage,
time was that just
which
because
is fine. Now can't everyone can be like an all format like specialist. It's
yeah.
fine to just be
Yeah.
good to us. I'm fine with that.
The smart thing to do is recognize that with somebody like that and not insist that he's gonna be good at
Hmm.
T20s. There's plenty of people who can
Definitely.
fill that role, um, like Momo Sim Jr. and stuff like that, right? So yeah, it is what it is. You want to move on to the new selection committee?
Let's do it.
So Wahab Riaz is still the chairman selection committee, right?
Um, there's no chief selector, but four members of the new selection committee are Asad Shafiq, Wahab Riaz, Muhammad Yusuf, and Abdul Razak. So I think they're all on like the same level. Um, this Mohsen Naqvi had a press conference. He said we've reorganized the selection committee. It will comprise 7 members. Each will have an equal power. There'll be no chief selector, so that there can be healthier
Equal
debate.
power. There we go. Party hote
Yeah.
rahenge. These guys are gonna start fighting amongst themselves.
Uh-huh. Everyone knows, it's better to like a kingdom is better run when you have like seven
Yeah,
kings and
when you
like
have like
not like seven prime ministers.
seven leaders with equal power, that should go over well.
Yeah, four former players, the captain, head coach, and a data analyst,
You know who Abdul Razak is
and
gonna
that
pick
there will
first,
be
right?
coordinators, but they won't have voting power. So I don't know. What do you think of the 4 players at least?
I was gonna say, you know who Abdul Razak is gonna pick first, right? Aishwarya Rai.
Does he have a son? Who?
Aishwarya Rai. Remember that clip? You don't remember that clip?
It sounds vaguely familiar.
I won't even get
What
into
did he
it.
say? Something?
He made a sexist joke about Aishwarya Rai, and he was like, I don't even remember what he said
Wasn't
actually.
he also the one who was talking about like Nida Dar?
Yeah,
Something about
yeah,
like
yeah,
talking about
yeah.
a haircut or something? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, God.
Yeah, he's gonna be on the selection committee, so that should be fun. But
Great.
I do like the appointment of Mohammad Yusuf there. He's been the batting coach of our under 19 team, correctly, right?
Hmm.
If I remember correctly,
Yep.
because I remember
Yep.
he was a batting coach and he was with the team in that under 19 World Cup as part of the coaching team. So that's good to see. He's gonna be able to identify some young talent, hopefully. Um, that doesn't really necessarily mean anything for the World Cup because I think we have more or less, you know, experienced players who are going to be going and stuff, and
Mhm.
good performers from the PSL and that sort of stuff. But yeah, we'll see. Asad Shafiq, I don't know. Abdul Razak,
Hopefully,
I
shouldn't be
don't
any
get.
like too. Yeah.
Abdul Razak is kind of weird to me because this guy is bad news. He just
Mhm.
gives a really bad vibe off. So um,
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see what happens. Wahab Riaz, you know, this guy has been around for some time now and hasn't really done anything. Selection committees are like, in general, I'm always like, what is like your, what are you good at?
Right.
Like, what do you,
What's your job
yeah,
exactly? Yeah.
exactly.
I could be chief select. Just pick the best performing players.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Just if it was Ramiz, he would just take a look at a piece of paper, look at all the stats, and pick the top performers.
It works in
And
cricket,
you know what he
captain.
would end up
I would
doing
do
in
the
that
same.
case? He would end up picking Azam Khan for wicket keeper.
Really?
because he was
We know Ramiz is the
he was the
biggest Azam Khan fan. Like, he
best.
loves
Yeah,
Azam
he
Khan.
was the
We
best
know.
keeper in the
Yeah,
PSL. He would end up picking him for
he was objectively. He has the award.
sure. There you go.
Yeah, but I
Uh,
don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of the selection committee. You know me. I
you
mean,
want a
like,
Steve Jones
I'm
be
not
the
trying to
chief
make,
selector?
huh?
You want a Steve Jones
I was
team?
about to say. I was
Yeah.
about to say. I'm not trying to make a shtick out of it, but I do think this team needs, like, not necessarily foreigners, but people who can pick a team objectively and purely based on merit. And I think anytime you bring in former players or like former, like,
यार
officials
तुम्हारा
from, like,
तुम्हारा ख्याल है कि if there's a foreign chief selector or somebody who doesn't have a bias, they're gonna let him do what
Mhm.
he wants to do on merit? That's the problem. It's not one guy coming in
That's
and
a
going, okay,
I
I'm
don't
gonna
yeah,
do
that's
it
the
this
thing.
way, right? He could try all he wants.
Right.
They're gonna fucking shut him down and be like, no, 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 you're doing it this way, or you're not
That's
doing
the
this
thing.
job. You're fired, right?
In an ideal scenario, it would be like a purely objective, like, selector who would be given, like,
Yeah,
final say.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And, like,
Ideally,
with
yes.
considerations of head coach, captain,
Yeah,
yeah.
ideally, but that's
Um,
not gonna even if you bring in a foreign guy, if you bring in some white guy from Australia or New Zealand or whatever, they're not gonna be able to
mhm.
choose objectively. They're gonna have a million people telling them, "You have to pick this guy, you have to pick this guy, you have to pick this guy." Uh,
That's the thing, yeah, and that's what I fear for, like, these four guys too. Every one of them is gonna come in with their own personal biases, friendships as they came up with, or like regional, like, bias, like where they grew up. I'm honestly, like, not entirely convinced Wahab Riaz is not gonna pick himself, or he's gonna pick, like, based on French. I really think this might be an issue. I mean, I'm willing to give it a chance. Up to the World Cup, there shouldn't be any crazy left field, crazy selections. I think the squad, like, what, 15-man squad. I think, like, 11 spots are, like, nailed down. Like, the rest four are, like,
well,
pretty set,
talking about left
more or
field
less.
selections, this isn't a selection, but we were gonna get into this next. But the captain discussion, uh,
Yeah.
article came out in Cricket Info today that we all read, and it said that Mohsen Naqvi in the press conference
Mhm.
um, didn't say anything when asked about Shaheen's captaincy. He said that the chief selection committee is gonna, or the selection committee is gonna make that decision. So his captaincy is up in the air right now after being captain for one series and
Mhm.
one PSL with Lahore, where he did terribly. So this guy has won one match in internationals since he became captain for T20s, and he has won. Lahore won one match, right? And they had one no.
This year, yeah. I think this one
He-
match, yeah.
He's won two matches out of 15 games, league and internationals combined. Unless there was
This
something
year,
else
yeah,
in the
not the
middle that
best
I'm
record.
missing. I don't think there
Mhm.
was. So those, that series and the PSL, this guy has won 2 out of 15, which is not good. But they alluded to the fact that maybe who knows, we might get a captaincy change, and I want to get your take on that too. What do you think of that? Regardless of how we think he is as captain, is that the right move to make right now?
Mhm. I do think Shaheen is not the best captain in Pakistan, nor do I think he should lead the T20 team. At the same time, it's tough to change captaincy so soon. It might be the right move, especially if you have, like Baba or Rizwan be like, "Yeah, I'm ready to lead the team, and, like, I can do this." But it's a tough call to make. I think I I I, I question Pakistan's chance at the World Cup with Shaheen as captain. I think he was, like, blessed almost with, like, a perfect lineup with Lahore Qaland these past 2 years. So he was exposed a little bit. I'm not too convinced he won't, like, bring himself in at, like, 3 or 4 in the World Cup. Um,
We had a heated discussion
but
about that too. I'll wait for Amiz to
I don't
get
know,
back
man.
for us to continue that.
Yeah, I
But
think we should wait for me to get back.
uh,
Um, but I don't know. I think, like, ideally, I would have stuck with Babar for the World Cup. Maybe Rizwan. It's a tricky situation because I don't think he's the best captain, Shaheen. But I don't want to, like, drop him after
this is
one
what I mean,
series,
right?
especially
When we were
theoretically. He could be amazing in the New Zealand series, and I'd be like, all right, well, I'll stick with it. I'm willing to give him that chance.
no, I
Um,
see the thing is like there's two sides to this. One side is like, all right, this guy's 23. If you're committing to him as a captain long term, then you can't be that short sighted and make a rash decision right now after one series. Like we're saying, one series and one PSL, can't really make a rash decision. The other side of it is this guy doesn't seem to have just he just doesn't. I don't think he has it as a captain.
Mhm.
Like you're saying, I think he was pretty blessed with that squad when he won those two PSLs. Um, he like I don't know. I haven't seen anything from him that tells me he's a good captain in that one series or in that. But the other side of it is he could learn on the job, you know. Um, and then the other side of it also is that you really do miss, or you really do realize what you had until it's gone. And I'm talking about Babar as captain. Um, Much better, you know. When he was,
Right.
we were all shitting on him in that ODI World Cup, leading up to it, before that, during it, but um, he had experience. He knew how to lead people, and that sort of stuff, right? So I don't know. I'm really torn about this because I don't think he's a good captain. I 100% agree with you that I think our chances do take a hit with him as captain, and ultimately going
Mhm.
back to the discussion about if you're just trying to win, maybe you do find somebody else to lead this team,
Mhm.
and I think
I
Rizwan
was
would
like,
be a
if
good candidate for that. The other
I
side
was
of
just
it
about to ask,
is
like, if the World Cup was starting tomorrow, you don't have to worry about, we just gave him captaincy, now we're leaving it. World Cup starting tomorrow. Who is your captain? Like, best captain for Pakistan? Who would you have? Ignoring like drama about removing Shaheen,
ignoring
who's your
everything
captain
else
for Pakistan?
objectively.
Like, yeah, objectively, like, don't worry about, we just gave him one series and gone. Like, ignore all that. Who's your
I would
captain for
make
Pakistan?
Rizwan the captain.
I think I would be Rizwan as captain. I mean, I'm not the biggest Rizwan fan, but I liked his captaincy for Multan these past few
Same
years. I
here,
liked it.
yeah. So yeah, and that's what it is, right? Like I don't know what to expect from this guy. Like you're saying, who knows? He might promote himself to like number 4 in a World Cup game against India and embarrass
Mm-hmm.
himself. Because I actually don't think he's gonna do that in internationals. I think there's too much at
Probably
stake.
not.
But but yeah, we'll I'm still laughing at that discussion we had. This guy, like, there seems to be a certain element of ego with this guy. He wants to do everything
Mm-hmm.
himself, which is like, dude, like, everybody knows you haven't been the best bowler lately. You're supposed to be the strike bowler for Pakistan and your league team. You're also the captain, and now you're trying to bat at 4-2. Maybe figure out what you're, maybe figure out your bowling first, and then figure out about the
Yep.
batting. It just doesn't make sense. This guy tries to do everything. He wants to be the hero, and that's not a good look, to be honest. It doesn't look great when you continue to do that and you keep failing. So yeah, I like like we said, I think if the World Cup starts tomorrow, Rizwan is my captain, putting everything else aside. But
Mm-hmm.
you know that's not realistic. I think maybe you stick with him at least for this World Cup. I think you have to give him that. I don't think our chances are
Yeah,
that good anyways, honestly. In this World Cup, I don't know about you, but I'm just not really that
I would.
optimistic
Yeah,
with
probably.
this team right
Mm-hmm.
now. Um, and Shaheen as captain actually has a lot to do with that, but we'll see. I think you have to give him the World Cup. I think for a guy who's 23, who is um you know, again, your premium fast bowler bowls, with the new ball. You don't want to shatter his confidence as well. That could impact him
Mm-hmm.
as a player further, and you don't want to lose that either. Um, the other thing, Mohsin Naqvi also mentioned in his press conference that they're looking for a captain long term, and it would be truly dumb to change a captain after saying that, after you've had a captain for like one series. Doesn't make sense. If you're looking for a captain long
Mm-hmm.
term, then you have to trust the guy you have appointed as captain.
It just
um,
shows like we don't trust you at all. Like
exactly.
that's the message.
That's
Oh
really a
yeah.
slap in the face of somebody and saying, yeah, we don't really trust you at all. We don't have any confidence in your captaincy abilities, and we
Mm-hmm.
found a new guy. So, like that's what I mean with like shattering a dude's confidence who happens to be a super important player for you. So yeah, all that said, I would keep him, but I wouldn't be happy about it. Um, so yeah, that's Shaheen's captaincy. Anything else? Haris Rauf gets a central contract again after
Gets us back. Yeah.
after getting it taken away for his shenanigans in the Australia tour. So good for him. Who knows if he's going to make the team? He's got a broken, dislocated shoulder or whatever it was in that PSL game. We'll see if he plays that New Zealand series. Um, but yeah, welcome back, I guess. Haris Rauf. I don't know what else to say
Oh
about
god,
that.
run machine.
Haris' favorite player. Share the same name. You know,
That's the only reason, you know. Haris Sohail, Haris Rauf, they're my favorites, you know.
Haris Sohail was actually one of my
Um,
favorite players when he was on the
I
team.
loved Haris Sohail, man. He was the unsung hero of that, you know, that New Zealand World Cup match where Baba scored a century. He was the unsung hero.
Yeah,
He did
he
amazing,
was
man.
odd because he was one of those players that never really kind of cemented himself into the team. But I loved him.
Mhm,
Like I loved the way he played. I still remember. I have this really vivid memory of like the 2015 World Cup again. That match
mhm,
against India. He came out to bat and like you could tell that the pressure was getting to everybody around him, all the batsmen. I think he came
mhm.
down at four, and people were like crumbling around him. Omar Akmal was shitting his pants, and like this guy came and he played a cover drive with a packed outside field, and it was just amazing. And I remember thinking at
Oh
that
yeah.
time, this guy is absorbing pressure. He ended up scoring like 30 or
Mhm.
something, and he got out at slip, but I remember thinking this guy's got it, and he just, he always had injuries. He always had issues with.
Oh, that's tough. That's the thing. I think I told you this too, but like my unpopular opinion, my hot take. He's just that talented, if not more talented than Babar Azam. But like the injuries
Okay,
always
well,
like
I
got
wouldn't
to him.
push
It
it
was
that far, but
I'm just saying talent wise, he was amazing. He could have been our perfect number three in like all formats, I think. But like the injuries all kept getting to
yeah,
him.
yeah, he
Like
was
pure
he was
talent wise,
good.
he had all the shots.
He was good.
He was all the
Um,
shots. But regardless, we sidetracked. Haris Rauf. I do not like him in the team at all. At the same time, I don't think
यार इतना भी
he
बुरा
should
नहीं
have.
है हारिस रॉफ भाई, dude. I think
He's
he's
not that
I
good. He's
think
a run
he's
machine, man.
no, I know he's a run
Bro,
machine, but
dude's got no brain. He's got no
I know
brain.
he's got
He
no
has
brain. But
no.
listen. I think he can be a good
Okay,
death bowler.
okay.
I think he can. If they need to give him that role and make him bowl
He's
like
had that role.
he's had, and that's what he's been good at, right? Like, I think he can bowl those Yorkers. You're right. He doesn't. You don't need a head for that. You can just, you know, um,
I mean, you kind of need a head to bowl.
yeah,
Like,
I
you
know.
know,
I know you need a
I,
head to bowl,
I,
but
I don't mean like literally, but like you need to like. There's like
I,
it's like
I I get totally what you're saying. This guy is brainless, man. He has no IQ.
he's brainless. That's the
He
thing.
has
His
no
only
cricketing
thing
IQ.
coming into bowl is bowl
Yeah.
fast, and like the harder you bowl, the faster it goes to the boundary. It's like I'll see him. I'll see a field set, and it's like there's one spot you shouldn't bowl, and that's like the one spot he bowls nine
यार
times out
लेकिन
of
ये
10.
जो है ना ये Shaheen, none of these guys have that kind of. Shaheen is the same way. Like I remember telling you guys about like he had fine leg up and he kept bowling leg side short and the guy kept
Yeah,
scooping. I think it was Ifti who scooped him like three times. And I was like, I don't know if you're trying to bowl that delivery or if you like if you're getting it horribly wrong or if you think that's a good delivery. And if you think that's a good delivery, that's more concerning to me than you getting it wrong because you should be
yeah.
bowling on the offside, and I don't know. It's
Mhm.
it's hard to know what these guys are
I'm
thinking sometimes. Of course,
I'm fine with him on the T20 team because like the nature of the game. You're gonna get wickets. You can bowl terribly and still get wickets because batsmen are trying to hit you out or get caught in the
shut
boot,
up.
and that's like
Right?
the Shadab Khan tactic. But like
Bowl
I
full
don't think he
tosses
should be
and
in the
wait for
ODI
them to
team at all.
miss, right?
Yeah, like I don't think he should be in the one day team at all. Definitely not the Test team. He's like fine. Like it hurts to say he's fine in the T20 team, but I don't think he should have lost his contract for refusing to play Test cricket. Um,
Yeah, that
because
was
then it
that was
opens like
just
a slippery
BS,
slope.
right? And that whole thing was so stupid because they were like, "You're gonna bowl 10 overs a day," and like, what are you getting out of
Mm,
a bowler of that? Like somebody who's like you're
yeah,
saying as brainless as like you're just wasting a spot if he's bowling 10 overs a day. That's like
exactly.
in those conditions, you need.
If
I would rather have.
if fast yeah,
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm saying if a fast bowler can't handle bowling like 15, 20 overs per day in like first class match, you have no business playing cricket at all. Like period. I don't know why they need to wrap him in
Well, I
cotton.
mean,
Like
I
just
think you treat those bowlers a little bit differently too, because I think Shoaib
a
Akhtar was kind of the
little.
same way, right? He would come in for like 3 over spells, give it his absolute all, bowl at 155, 160, and then
Mhm.
do it for three. Four. Mark Wood, they do the same thing with Mark Wood, right? They give him bursts
Yeah.
of 3-4 overs max, and he just goes
Mhm.
ballistic. So I think that was the idea behind Haris Rauf. But like, we're comparing Shoaib Akhtar and Mark Wood to Haris Rauf right now, and that's insane to me. Um,
Totally insane. Yeah.
you know,
Wait, Test cricket, you need at least like for Pakistan standards, you need like 5% consistency. You know, hit the corridor of uncertainty, hit the same Test match line and length. I don't think I've ever seen Haris Rauf bowl where he wanted to bowl. Like, I don't think he can stick to
or
like
where
a
he was
one line
told to
movement.
bowl, right?
Yeah,
It was
exactly.
driving
I
me
mean,
nuts when this
but
guy
like
kept
I've seen that.
bowling
Yeah,
wide or short in that World Cup, in the ODI World Cup, when the field wasn't set for that and the pitches are slow. And it's like,
garbage
you
one day
can keep
bowler.
bowling at 147. They're going to love it. They're going to just spank you on,
Yeah,
you
he's
know,
he's every batsman's favorite bowler.
yeah.
I want to say I might be overdoing with the hate, but I don't know, man.
Yeah.
But I think I'm fine with him having a central contract. I don't think he should have lost in the first place for not playing Test cricket. It just opens that slippery slope. Like, do you have Test only contracts? Do you remove everyone who doesn't play Test cricket? Because in which case, Shadab would lose out on a central contract. Fakhar Zaman would lose out on a central contract. They have like no interest in playing Test cricket at all. So like I'm fine. I mean, I don't think he should have lost in the first place. But I mean, I guess like, do you right or wrong? He has his security now.
Yeah.
It means I guess he'll be in the T20 squad for sure.
Yeah. You want to do something fun? I just thought of it while you were talking. You want to
Yeah, let's
do
do it.
like, let's create a starting 11 for the New Zealand series that's coming up,
Mhm.
and we alternate and go one by one. So you pick a player,
Sure.
you pick the opener first at number 1, and then I pick, and then we go all the way down to 11. You want to do that?
Let's do it.
And everybody's available. Usman Khan is available. Let's just
Ooh.
assume everybody from PSL is a go.
Okay, I'll keep this down.
All right, you
Okay,
you go first. I'm gonna jot this down as we go. You go first.
sure. Surprise. No,
Number 2, Surprise. Number 3, Surprise.
dude, surprise him. It's an 11-man, one-man squad. No, number one, you got to go Sam Ayub.
Yeah.
Sam
And
Ayub. And are
and
we
if you
doing like
disagree, if you
realistically or
disagree with my pick or I disagree with your pick, let's talk about it as we go.
okay?
All right, Simon Ayub, I 100% agree. Number 2, I got Babar Azam.
Let's do it. I like it. Are we doing it realistically or like what we would want?
What you would want. Forget
I
real.
would
This is
want.
all like hypothetical shit. You can
Ooh,
pick
okay.
whoever you want.
I would, I would, put Rizwan in your spot and have Babar at three. But I think in which case you would put Rizwan at three.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
like I'm trying to be at least a little realistic. Like I mean, like
So,
ten
okay,
percent
so
realistic.
let's discuss that, right? So you want Simon Ayub and Rizwan opening, and you want Babar at 3.
Yeah, I think Babar did a fine job at three in New Zealand series. I'm okay. I mean, I'm okay having Rizwan at three in like this upcoming New Zealand series, just like experiment. So put me down for Rizwan
Rizwan.
for
Yeah.
three. What do you think?
The only reason I have Babar at 2 with Saim is because they've batted a lot together in Peshawar.
The Peshawar. Yeah.
They know how each other work. They know, they've batted well. They both of them have got big scores playing in those positions. I think Rizwan is the one who is kind of the odd man out right now. I know he's been opening
Mm-hmm.
everywhere in internationals, also with Multan and stuff. But I think given this top 3, I think Rizwan should be the one to sacrifice that spot. Saim
Okay.
absolutely cannot. I think he has to stay at
No.
1. So given all that, I think Rizwan. I trust Babar more to play a longer innings than I do Rizwan. Um,
Same.
so I think, given all that,
I
I
think
would say
Rizwan played a horrible innings in the final, like a run a ball 25. I want to say it
yeah,
was not
yeah. But
pretty.
that I think Usman Khan even started that way, and it was a tough pitch to bat on. I think a little
Yeah,
bit.
it was. It was.
So I don't really blame him for that. I think wickets were kind of crumbling around him as well. So
Mm.
not too terrible given the situation, but yeah, when you look at a scorecard, it's like run a ball 25. It's like, come on,
Yeah,
that's doesn't
there's
look good.
context to it. I get what you mean.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, so I'm gonna put Mohammad Rizwan here.
Number four,
Number
who you got?
4. So that was your pick, right?
No, I said Rizwan at three. You got four.
Okay, so I got number 4. Who do I want here?
Sarfraz.
I think I'm gonna go with Fakhr's. No, I'm joking. No, I think Fakhr's out of this team now.
Yeah, I think yeah, no.
So this is for the New Zealand series, I said, right? If
Yeah,
it's for the New Zealand series, I'm gonna put Usman Khan in here at number 4.
I like it. I like it. I was about to say. I think if we're
Um,
kind of
for a
putting fingers,
second, I
I
thought
think
we
I
were
like the
doing a
guy.
World Cup squad, but if it's for the New Zealand series, I think Usman Khan should get the spot. Um, cons- Given that he's applicable to do this, I don't know what the situation is with this whole UAE transfer
Mm.
thing. Like I said, let's assume everybody's available. All right, you go 5.
Uh, Middle order batsman. I mean, the options are what
Imad Wasim, Shadab Khan,
50.
Ifti.
I would go at 5. I would go Mohammad Aris.
Ooh, that's a good. Okay.
I think. I think, especially for the New Zealand series, the upcoming one, given the 5 spot, be like you're getting every match at 5. Don't worry about losing your spot. You're gonna get every match series. Do your thing. I just want to see him bat like that.
Yeah, same here. I feel like this dude has
Mhm.
always been like looking behind his shoulder to see who's coming to take his spot. And I
Mhm.
think he deserves what is it, a 5 match series? I think he deserves maybe 5 matches
5 match
to see
series.
what he can do.
Mhm.
Realistically, I don't think he makes this starting 11 for the World Cup, to be honest, because now you've got people
Not
like
yet. Yeah.
Imad Wasim coming in and stuff like that. Shadab is not coming out. We know that. So, and then that's pretty much it, right? You're into the bowlers after that. So, as
Mhm.
of today, I don't think he makes a World Cup squad, but I like this pick for the New Zealand series to see what he's got.
I think so.
Okay.
6.
Imad Wasim, it's got to be it, right?
Okay. Do you have Imad over Shadab batting order wise?
I do. I do.
Interesting.
Yeah. I know
Okay.
Ramiz is going to hate me for this, but I think, come on,
Yeah.
this is even a question. Imad Wasim is a much better batsman than Shadab Khan, right? I mean, am I crazy here?
I mean, I think purely on like a batting skills, I think Imad team is better. I think Shadab had definitely had the better PSL with the bat. I mean, he had those couple like 80 something innings, provided, Shadab came in at 3 and 4, so he had the opportunity to play those innings. I'm not the biggest fan of Shadab, but I would experiment bringing in Shadab with like 3 or 4 or 5, at least maybe one match this New Zealand series. But I mean, 6 is like if you're playing an aggressive batsman, I would be fine with Shadab at 6. Um, Interesting call though. I didn't think I'd be one to say this, but I
Yeah,
would.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the way this squad is being constructed as we're doing it, Imad Wasim at this number makes more sense to me simply because he's a
Okay.
better hitter of the ball. He can hit sixes better than Shadab, I think. So if he's coming to bat at that number, it's probably going to be around 14, 15 over, you hope.
Mhm.
And to, I think and if that's not the case, and if he's coming in at, let's say, the eighth over and there's a batting collapse, I think he's more capable of constructing an innings like he did in that eliminator than Shadab. Shadab is
Mhm.
not going to be able to handle that kind of pressure. And we saw the shot he played in that same match
Oh,
when he
that was
tried
awful.
to go across the line
Yeah.
towards mid wicket, that stupid hoik that he played, and he got
Mhm.
bowled out. So, yeah,
Yeah.
Imad Wasim
Interesting. Yeah.
definitely, I think, makes a higher batting spot here. Okay, you go next.
I would put Shadab at 7, but I like this idea. I think I would have them as floaters, like Muhammad Aris, Imad, Shadab. If you need slogging, I think I would try Shadab at least once. I see what you mean. Imad is a decent like power hitter. If you're early wickets, I would
So
have
if you,
Imad like
yeah,
come in.
if you need
Yeah,
slogging, I think Muhammad Haris and Imad Wasim are both better sloggers than Shadab.
that's the thing.
Muhammad Haris
I
can hit
agree with that,
sixes.
but
I
then
know he's a skinny guy, but he can whack the ball.
I'm also looking at like the numbers, and it's kind of surprising me. Shadab had 15 sixes, and Ahmad only had one. And I know, Shadab faced like twice as many balls as like Ahmad, but I was surprised like Shadab had a better
Yeah,
strike rate.
maybe I think I might not be giving Shadab enough credit for his
That's the thing. And
six
I'm a
hitting
Shadab hate.
ability.
I'm not
I
a hater, but I'm not the
I
biggest
I
fan
am
of
a kind of
Shadab.
a hater too,
But I
but
would.
I think, yeah, maybe it's just visually it seems to me that way, but maybe he can hit sixes, your stats are telling
He
me
did
otherwise.
credit where it's due. He saved us in that South Africa World Cup match, coming in at 7, hitting like a 50 off 25. That like brought us to a decent
With
total.
Mohammad Haris, right?
Um,
So, um,
I think it was with Muhammad
yeah.
Aris, yeah. So I would try those three like as floaters.
Yeah,
I would
I do
maybe,
like that idea. I think depending on situation,
mhm,
depending on what over they're coming in, I think that makes sense.
mhm. Yeah.
promote whoever you think is going to be good in that spot.
But
But your captain is
wait,
Shaheen, so he's probably going to go himself at four, right?
at 3-4, he's gonna open.
Yeah.
I just, I just maybe you're gonna cover this though. I just forgot about Osama Amir though. I don't think you could play Osama and Shadab in the same 11. For the World Cup at least. But yeah, no, you take the reins. Who do you got at 9?
So
8, 8. Sorry,
so I was
Shadab or
actually going
Shaheen.
to
Who's at
pick
8?
Osama Mir for this spot.
Okay, interesting, interesting.
And this is purely because this is home, and in Pakistan you can use two spinners, and you
Hmm.
can also take a look at where the games are. Karachi turns more than other places, so depending on what the situation is, I think you can play both. You have to play Osama Mir, I think, and you're right. If somebody is coming out, somebody has to come out for Osama Mir if we can't get all 11 in, and Osama Mir is not in
Hmm.
there. So let's finish this, and then we'll see what the makeup of our team looks like here.
So we're at
We're
9, 10, 11, right?
9, 10, 11. So it's got to be
Do you want to just go
Shaheen.
like three pacers? Do you just want to do that?
Yeah, and that's kind of where I was going with this, right? Imad Wasim can
Okay.
bowl. If you need him to, and he probably will bowl. Imad Wasim and Shadab in this team, I think, can probably share overs if they need to. Shadab, as we know,
Yeah.
is hit or miss with the ball. He can spray it a little bit. Imad provides a lot of control, and this guy has a knack of taking wickets, wicket
Hmm.
to wicket bowling. This guy can really deceive people. Really good bowler, I think. Up front and
Definitely.
really useful in the middle
Shadab
order.
didn't have an amazing. He didn't have an amazing season with the ball. It was all right. It was like decent numbers, but like
Shadab
weren't
has never
amazing
been good with
numbers.
the ball, and we act like he's a prime leg spinner. But it is what it is. So
Hmm.
at 9, Shaheen Shah Afridi. At 10, Naseem Shah. Actually,
Okay.
who should be coming here at? Because Naseem Shah is gonna come at 11, probably, right?
I think he can
So
come in 10.
okay, we'll just do Naseem Shah, and then who's the last pacer here? Mohammad Amir.
Mohammad Amir. Hey, don't sleep on Jahan Dad Khan.
You can probably add one more all rounder at this point, right? Amir Jamal
I don't
type
know
player.
who even
I
are
don't
all
not
rounders.
Amir
I
Jamal,
don't.
but
I don't think we have any all. I don't think we have any all rounders, pace all rounders in Pakistan. Like simply put, I don't think we have any pace all rounders. Like
Abdul Razak will pick himself for this tour.
he will pick himself. The first, he was coming back at 8:45.
I feel like we're missing somebody here. Somebody
Let me
very
let me
obvious.
let me give you the leading. Let me give you the leading PSL wicket takers: Osama Mir, Muhammad Ali, Abar Ahmad, Naseem Shah, Shaheen Afridi, Hassan Ali Shadab, Abbas Afridi, who was last year's leading wicket taker and has only played one T20. Zaman Khan, Mir Hamza, Muhammad Amir, Muhammad Wasim, Salman Irshad, and it kind of falls off from there.
So I think I would have one of Naseem Shah कह रहा हूँ, Wasim Jr. or Zaman Khan.
I would. I can see that. Yeah, I think definitely agree with Shaheen and Naseem. Those are your 9 and
Zaman
10s.
Khan can bowl at death. He's good at Yorkers. He's defended
He had a pretty
low
bad
scores.
PSL. He
He
choked in the
did. He
finals a
did.
couple.
I agree. But I
His,
think
his economy was almost 10, which is like
yeah. I
god
mean,
awful.
he was on Lahore. Nobody had a good season. You can throw those
That's
stats
true.
out the window, right?
Uh-huh.
So I think I do like Zaman Khan as the death bowler. I think he does a good
Interesting.
job of containing runs in those last, kind of he bowls the 19th over a lot, and he does a good job. He bowls the last over. Sorry, he bowls the last over
Mhm.
mostly, right? And
Yeah,
there was a
he
one
does that.
match where he defended like 7 runs or something in the last over, which was great.
I think
Um,
so.
so yeah, so here's what
He's done
we've
it
got.
before.
Let's see if we want to make any changes here. We've got Saim, Babar, Rizwan, Usman Khan, Mohammad Haris, Imad Wasim, Shadab Khan, Osama Mir, Shahin Shah Afridi, Naseem Shah, and Zaman Khan.
If you had to pick, I mean, talking about this, you had Osama, Shaheen Naseem, and Zaman Khan. I like it. I like that tale. Um,
Now, let me ask you this:
realistically,
if you had to
mhm.
take out somebody to put Abrar in, what do you do? You already got 3 spinners in there if you include Imad Wasim.
For the New Zealand series
Yeah,
or for the World
no,
Cup,
no, for the New Zealand series.
Take out Shadab. He's a not in a bad way. I'm just saying he's a known commodity. He's not going to improve
Yeah.
by playing these extra
So
World Cups. I would take
yeah,
out Shadab.
yeah. So that and I think that's fine because you can just rest Shadab and
Mhm.
uh he's gonna be playing the World Cup. We know that he's the vice
That's the
captain.
thing.
He's
Yeah.
gonna be playing.
Uh-huh.
I don't think he needs to play the series, so we can just take him out. Maybe this can be Abrar. That means that you're essentially short one batsman because Abrar can't bat, right? So what happens then is
The tail is pretty
everybody
deep.
goes
Yeah.
up a spot and Abrar comes in at 11. I was gonna write Abrar ul Haq,
Nice.
Abrar Ahmed. Uh,
He's a legend. I heard he's doing politics now.
so yeah, now you've got a batting order of Saim, Babar, Rizwan, Usman Khan, Mohammad Haris, Imad Wasim, and that's pretty much where it ends at 6.
That's your top. Yeah. You
Uh,
need. That's the thing. We're severely lacking in like all rounders who can
yeah,
win
so
the
that's the
game
thing,
with
right?
bat and ball.
If you include Shaheen Afridi, actually Shaheen should be higher than Osama Mir, so this comes here. Shaheen Afridi at 7, Osama Mir at 8. So if you include
That's a deep tail.
Shaheen Afridi is coming 5 down in this lineup,
I
and
don't like that.
yeah, that doesn't really.
Come World Cup season, I don't like that. I think we're definitely short of batsmen.
Yeah.
Um,
But we're also taking out a very important player in Shadab. So you know, if Abrar is gonna play, I think he's gonna have to come in for somebody like Osama Mir because they're both spinners and they both can't bat. Um,
mhm.
so yeah, where this is kind of more in line with kind of testing some players out. We're testing out Usman Khan in this
Yeah.
team. We're testing out
Mhm.
Muhammad Haris in this team. We're testing out Osama Mir in this team. If you really look at it, because he hasn't played a lot of international cricket. Um, I know he's had a good PSL, but
Honestly, if we're as long as we're talking about resting and like experimenting, rest Baba, rest Rizwan. We know what they can do. Like I said, along with Shadab, they're known commodities. You get what you're gonna get with them. You know what you're getting. Like I would
so who do you
open
who
with
do you
Muhammad
open
Aris.
then? Let's change this team entirely.
Yeah, let's take out Baba and Rizwan. Yeah, yeah, I like that.
Who do you open with
I
then?
would open with Sam and Mohammad Aris, and I would tell them you're gonna get all 5 matches to open. Go crazy. I want to see that for at least one series.
I
That
don't
should have
mind
what
it,
happened.
man. I don't mind it.
Yeah,
And then maybe so now we've got Haris in 2 spots. Who comes in at 5 then? Maybe Ifti can come in here. He needs
if
to.
the we could. I
He needs
mean,
some practice, I think.
I'm only saying this because of a distinct lack of middle order hitters in Pakistan. I would, if we have that spot at 5, I would consider Azam Khan at 5. I'm just saying, I would consider Azam Khan at 5,
I don't mind
especially
it
for this
either, man.
experiment.
I know he hasn't been great. He's kind of actually, dude. He's pretty bad. He's pretty awful. I
Yeah.
think his time is up. I think we need to move on. I think it's come on. He's
I
how
mean,
many
he had a
international matches? Let's look up his stats right now.
I got you right now. His T20 average 4.83
There you go, dude.
and 7.
4 रन की
That's
एवरेज से क्या
but
करें हम? How many matches did he play?
bear with me. Here's the thing. I think he's a horrible T20 player so far. Like international, he's been absolutely awful. I'm thinking if your middle order options for number 5 are Iftikhar and Azam Khan, realistically, those are, and I
Don't
can't
say
believe I'm
it.
making a
Don't
case
say it.
for it.
You can't pick Azam Khan over Ifti right now. That's insane.
Not in terms of like experimenting.
Yeah, okay,
Azam Khan
experimenting.
had
Yeah, do whatever you want. Okay, if
yeah.
you're treating this series
Here's the thing.
purely as like a throw shit on the wall and see what sticks, then yeah, go play whoever you
Yeah,
want. But
that's what I'm saying. And like I'm not the biggest fan of Azam Big Bait Khan, but objectively, he had a pretty decent PSL. He averaged 25 at 171 strike rate.
yeah,
And I'm not saying that's
if you
gonna
look at numbers, yeah,
translate. I'm
that's what
just
I mean,
saying,
right?
yeah.
I mean, he
I'm
had
saying
that one
he had a
innings
decent.
where he played really well and he almost got Islamabad to the win. I don't remember
Yeah.
which game it was now, but Ramiz was losing it when he was playing well. It's like, but yeah, I don't know. So we started making the
Oh,
squad with
we're
the intention of like a probable 11 for the World Cup that where we could maybe
uh
test a couple people out, but we've now changed this on the fly to like a completely experimental squad, which is
you
fine.
know what? You know who we're forgetting? I can't believe you're forgetting him.
Who?
Your man, your guy,
Salman Liaga? Yeah,
Salman
shit, you're
Aliaga.
right. We forgot
Would you
about
have him
him.
at 5?
at
I
five.
no, I would have Aga Salman at above Azam Khan for sure. Like that
Oh
in
yeah,
pecking
yeah.
order, it's like
Okay, so let me go back
Aga
here.
Salman, Ifti, Azam Khan.
Let me go back here to our original picks. So
Yeah,
I am
he
putting. So here's what we had, right? Saim, Babar, Rizwan, Usman Khan, Haris, Imad Wasim, Shadab Khan. Sorry, Shadab, you're going out for Salman Ali Aga.
interesting. Yeah, and there's
And
your extra
I feel
batsman.
like he should bat higher. I feel like Salman Ali Aga needs to bat at. Actually, no, he should probably stay where he is. I'm going to put him higher than Imad Wasim because he's more of an
He's a proper
accumulator, right?
batsman. Yeah. Mhm. He had a
Um,
decent
and he can bowl.
31
This
average
guy
at
can bowl, man.
145. Yeah.
I am big on Osman Liaga. I think he needs to be tested on the international level and see what he's got. If he doesn't fit into the makeup of the team, I'm totally fine with that. But I think he needs to be tried. He played
Mhm.
some really good innings in the beginning of the PSL, and he kind of trailed off a little bit after that. But definitely worth a shot. I think he's a genuine all
Mhm.
rounder. I think. Um, you want to go through it one more time?
Yeah, what we got? We
Here's
got the best 11, then we got without Baba Rizwan, right?
yeah, yeah. Well, I
Okay.
just control Z
Sure.
it so the newer one is gone. But here's what we have:
Mhm.
Saim Babar, Rizwan, Usman Khan, Mohammad Haris, Salman Ariaga, Imad Wasim, Osama Amir, Shaheen Shah Afridi, Naseem Shah, Zaman Khan. That's a good team, I think.
That's a decent team, yeah. It's a good PSL 11
Yeah,
in the
based on
mix.
recent form, I think that's a good team.
You know what? I'm not the biggest idea of this, but if we're for that Zaman Khan slot, I would test out Muhammad Ali. He had a decent PSL. I
Fuck
would give
yeah.
him a few like maybe he just dominates. It's also, we're playing like New Zealand like C, but like in a decent PSL, I think he's earned a
Don't say that stuff because
quick.
Ramiz is gonna debunk you and fact check you and tell you you're wrong. So
I mean, it's not New Zealand A. I think we can all agree it's not gonna be New Zealand
yeah,
A.
yeah,
It's gonna be New Zealand like B or B plus
yeah, yeah.
or at best. But I would test out Muhammad Ali. If we're having that Zaman Khan slot open, I would test out Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, I think this is the series to experiment. It's at home. Everybody knows these conditions.
Yeah.
Everybody should be able to perform at their best at home. And I think you do
Mm.
that in this series if you want to. If you want to try out some of these guys like Mohammad Haris or Saman Ali Aga or, like you say, Muhammad Ali, or even somebody like, I think Imad Wasim goes in that category too, actually. I know he's been playing well, but
Mm.
you still have to, again, perform at the international level. Totally different beast. So all these guys should be, if they're going to be cementing a spot in that final 15 for the World Cup or for the next series in England, they have to play well here. And then I think for the England series, you play your best
The World Cup
11
squad.
or the people you intend to play in the World Cup and try to come up with a
Mm.
squad that is going to be, I think by game five in that series, you should be playing the same squad that's going to be playing
Yeah.
game five in that series should be playing
USA in
the
that first game.
USA in that first game,
I think
more
so.
more or less. Injuries and shit like that
Yeah.
happen and whatnot, but you should be
My
intending to.
worst fear is that not fear, but like I would hate if all five matches open with like Baba and Rizwan. Like I hate in the first New Zealand series
Yeah,
earlier this year,
yeah,
Rizwan opened all the matches, which is a waste.
yeah.
I don't know
Yeah,
why
I
we.
actually going back to your point about Saima Ayub and Mohammad Haris opening. I love that. Two young
Yeah.
guys, aggressive people.
Mhm.
Put them up at the top and see what they can do, man. Simon's been opening for a while.
Exactly.
This guy's doing it. Give Haris a shot, man. This guy deserves it. I think.
Mhm.
I'm looking at the squad, and he's gonna be again coming in at five, batting like 4 overs at max, whatever it is. Not really getting. Well, he is that kind of player, though. He would. That's kind of the situation he's made for, but. Um, yeah, I am
He
all
didn't have
for trying whatever.
the Yeah. He didn't have the best of PSLs, to be honest, but I mean, I don't know, man. There's something about him. I I've never
He's
seen like
fearless. He's fearless. I like.
yeah, I've never seen a Pakistani batsman play a hook shot for six, and then this dude did it in Australia against Norkia at like 145 clicks. I'm like, this guy's something special.
Yeah,
And I know his like stats don't show it, but I mean, I'm like that's the thing. Experiment, give him all five matches opening, go crazy, man. What you got?
yeah. All right, man. We're up at an hour. This was a fun episode without Ramiz and
This is a good one, yeah.
Ramiz without Ramiz and Dan. It was.
I don't know.
It was a good one. I
I've
wonder.
been
I
thinking about
wonder
like
what
new
it
episodes.
is about this episode that made it so good. Anything else you want to bring up? That's all I had.
I mean, just aside for the fact, obviously like, Safraz makes it 11, but I mean, besides that,
यार
um,
छोड़ दे भाई उसकी
I'm
जान.
just
He's done. He's done.
hey, it's a season of comebacks. Okay, you never know. You never know.
Yes. Surprise.
You know what?
Surprise makes
Asad
his
Shafiq,
team and I
Wahab
ride it,
Riaz.
man.
You know what? Shafiq, Riaz, Mohammad Yusuf, and Abdul Razak all have in common. They all
Played under
played
his captaincy.
with Safraz. They all played under his captaincy.
There
Yeah,
you go, right?
Mohammad Yusuf especially. Yeah.
So he's probably got some shit on them as a captain.
Uh huh.
He's probably got like
Exactly.
he's probably blackmailing them to put him in the squad.
Hmm.
Imagine they
Hmm.
put him in for like Rizwan.
That would be so funny, man. That would be hilarious.
You would be the happiest person on earth. You would put all
I would be
bias
that.
aside and be like, you know, this is what was supposed to happen.
Hmm. Yeah, he's back. The king is back.
The king is back.
But we still got like 3 weeks for the series anyway, so
When is it starting?
plenty of time. 18th.
18th April
And then they're gonna name 27 players for like that army camp thing. So
or
maybe
in
someone impresses in that camp.
Kakul. Yeah, there's
Yeah,
gonna be
that
there's
was a weird.
50 players going, I think, right? That's what I read
I heard
somewhere.
27.
27.
27.
Okay.
PCB will name 27 players to train the
I don't know
Pakistan
where I saw
military. And
50. That I was like, that seems like a really high
where's
number.
Kakul?
Probably in
Abtabad?
KPK,
Abtabad, yeah. That's so weird, yeah.
Ahmedabad, yeah. Okay. Anything else? Anything else you want to talk about? You want to talk about Zan for a bit? You want to talk about Rameez for a bit?
Yeah. No.
Those guys.
Good bunch of kids,
Yeah.
Nice
They're
guys.
all right. They're all right.
Very good. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, let's look forward to that series against New Zealand. Hopefully, some of these new guys can do well. Muhammad Haris, Salman and Yaga, my boy, forever and always. Sam Amir, I hope you continue to perform well. For the World
My
Cup.
boy.
Yeah, that's your boy, and
Mhm.
and Aga is my boy.
That's my boy.
And
He responded to my DM once, so
Moha-
we're pretty much best friends.
you want to tell the story
Mhm.
about that to our listeners?
Yeah, I don't know why. Like, I played cricket captain a lot growing up, and like, you always have those guys, who you're like your star players in cricket captain in the year like 2030. They're like the greatest of all time, and so you become a fan of them in real life. Osama Mir was that guy for me. He was like the greatest leg spinner of all time, and then 2016 Pakistan West Indies Test Series in Abu Dhabi or Dubai, whatever. Mohammad Awaz makes his debut and he's doing horribly. So I don't know what possessed me. I DM Osama Mir, who's played like 10 first class matches at this point. I'm like, you should be in the squad over Mohammad Nawaz, who admittedly has a decent first class record. And he's like, and he responded, he's like, it's Muhammad Nawaz's first match. Give him time. I'm sure you can do well. And he tells me, please support every cricketer.
Ooh, dude, he
I'm
shut
like,
you
okay,
up,
like,
eh? He shut
he shut
you
me down,
up.
man.
He was
I'm like, I
like, he
respect
wasn't
it.
having none of that. He was like,
He was having none of it.
if this was a trap and you were gonna
Mhm.
like post a screenshot of him going, yeah, fuck Muhammad Nawaz or something,
Yeah.
like,
I could
he
have always
was
like
he
edited the
wasn't
screenshot.
falling for none of
Yeah,
that garbage, eh?
he wasn't. No, he's a team person. I like that. I like that in a player. I think good makes a team for sure.
Yeah, no, that's good, man. But yeah, that's enough for us for today. Thanks for listening. We'll be back, hopefully closer to the start of that series, which starts in a couple of
Mhm.
weeks here. We're going to be previewing it. We're going to be talking about who gets picked. We're going to be ranting about if somebody we don't like gets picked, like Mohammad Amir. And yeah, we'll take it from there. Thanks for listening. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at shot_yar. Follow us on TikTok at shotyar and YouTube at shotyar. Peace out.
Can I add one quick thing? You can cut this out if you want to.
Sure.
Um, if you had to pick one guy for PCB head coach, they're gonna announce next week.
Ooh,
Who's your pick?
man, that's a longer discussion. Maybe we should have talked about. Maybe we'll do
I
this
know.
with
So
the
just
other
a quick.
guys. Maybe we'll do this with
Yeah. Okay.
Ramiz and Zan. But my guy is Mike.
I want to ask after he did the ending. So yeah.
No, we'll include this. Who's your guy? My guy is Mike Hessen.
I like him. I also like Justin Langer for some
Justin
reason.
Langer's not gonna come. He's coaching in IPL and shit, and like he's
That's true.
he's
In my
he's
pipe
he's
dream,
highly
yeah, I like.
sought. Like he's highly sought after. So I don't think they have the money
In my
for him.
dream, yeah.
Yeah, but
hmm
Mike Heston's already coaching in PSL. He's a guy who's got a lot of
I
experience.
like that idea. Yeah, I like the
Uh,
reasons you gave too.
yeah, Mike Heston's a guy. If Ramiz was here, he'd be yelling at us. He's probably gonna listen to this episode and he's gonna go nuts at a lot of our takes. I think.
Uh-huh.
Um, but who cares? He's not here.
Steve
He's not
Jones.
here to defend himself. Thanks for listening. See ya.